Hi, I'm Kelsey at Making Use of a Maximalist, and today's knitting podcast, we're going to talk about Vegas, cell phone screens, trading habits, and how I started knitting a lot more. I started knitting back in 2019 when a friend introduced me to Knit Pearl Hunter's building blocks. I It's hard to call it a pattern. I don't know if it qualifies as a book. We're going to call it a program. If you are not familiar, it is a wonderful method to learn to knit for the complete beginner. Um, but, I would recommend it even for those who know a bit. Maybe you've knit a step by step sweater already, but you're intimidated by other techniques, or you want to feel like you really know what you're doing instead of just watching a video and holding on tight and hoping for the best. So, the building blocks program, you make a blanket, and each technique you do a 12 by 12-inch square. I have some of them here. Um, just like a spoiler alert, as I said, did this in 2019ish. Completed the whole thing. Did I ever block them or sew them together? That is a no. But there's a first time for everything. And I started blocking this when I blocked the sweater just the other day. So I've got a few pieces here. Each square utilizes a different technique or method, and it takes you from the very basic knit stitches and purl stitches through lace work, um, different increases, different decreases, and leads you right through things like cabling. Um, I always assumed cabling to be a very, very difficult, very, very advanced knitting technique, and I never would have tried it so early in my knitting journey had it not been for this pattern. So I just feel all the love for Knit Pearl Hunter's building blocks because I really think it took me from square zero to being a very confident, very competent knitter. The whole PDF that you print, we can call it a book. It has links to videos showing each and every new technique, and all the videos are shot in the exact same manner. So you see the hands and you see the way, and you kind of know how they're going to introduce it, how they're going to do it. And I just thought, from somebody with teaching experience, I thought it was really well scaffolded and really well designed to take somebody from zero to hero. Although it did take me a few weeks at an in person knitting group that I absolutely adored to figure out that I was purling backwards. But I think that's before I started the program, the building blocks. So I learned back then, and I really liked it. I was young. We didn't have a child yet, and it was something that I could do in some free time. My husband and I were busy. We went places, we did things, and I knit, and it was fun. And then COVID happened, and we were stuck at home, and I was knitting a little bit more. I wasn't doing too much. I knit a couple little sweaters for some children that I knew. I knit myself a sweater, and I'll have to show the sweater next time. So when you lift the arm, there are gaping holes. I did not yet have a method for kind of controlling those stitches, nor did I know that it was considered totally fine to take some extra yarn and stitch it up at the end if it was wonky. So the method I used was just don't lift your arms. It worked sometimes, except for when we were flying one day and I was wearing it and I had to lift my arms to go through the airport scanner, and I nearly died. I like just kind of felt quite embarrassed. But I mean, who really cares? The airport is just, I think, meant to take away a little bit of your humanity in the TSA line. But that was a bit of a tangent. So COVID, I was knitting some things, knit a few sweaters, and then my husband and I got pregnant, and I was so excited to knit this entire wardrobe for um, this little baby boy we were expecting. I got the yarn, I got the patterns, I figured out which needles and which cable sizes, which still was a whole new world back then. And I got all ready to knit. I started, I had a sweater almost ready, and I got pregnancy carpal tunnel. And so then I went from knitting and enjoying knitting to wearing compression, I don't know, fingerless gloves, but compression style, and like basically splints at night. So I did not knit. And then all of a sudden I was a mom. And talk to any parent and you will hear them echo things like, I didn't think it was going to change that much. We planned to just bring baby with us, do our same adventures, keep our Saturdays of going out and about and getting coffee and going for walks and shopping but becoming a parent just changes you. It changes your priorities, it changes your likes, it changes your dislikes, and it just shifted where I put my time. And where I put my energy. And so I did not pick up knitting again for a number of years. But something that I did pick up was a habit that I was not proud of, which was being on my phone too much. It's I don't know many people these days who say, "Yeah, I'm not on my phone too much." But really, when I start to think about it, I I tried a lot of things to kind of reduce my screen time, like setting the digital wellness little like timers to turn off the apps. So it's like, oh, I'll set Facebook to half an hour, Instagram to half an hour. That's only an hour. Um, you can turn off those timers. Eventually, I got a brick this year, but you know, it was really rough when I started thinking about like an hour a day over the course of a month is 30 hours, which is a whole extra day. It's a whole extra day. And like when you think about time with your family and with your loved ones, it's not just an extra day, You get 12 hours with your kids or with your husband, your partner, your friends, your family. I mean, it's if you get 12 hours a day, it's like 2.5 days. And losing that every month, people would kill for a long weekend every month where you got to take off, half day on Thursday into Monday. You add 2.5 days. 2.5 days is a really of a wake time, just so that we don't get confused. That's a really long time. 30 hours is a really, really long time. I think one of the other things that like really made it hit home for me was thinking back to a trip my husband and I had taken to Las Vegas. It was my first time there. We went for an event called Viva Las Vegas with vintage music, like rockabilly, dancing, a car show, and vintage, like all the way. Like if you stumbled upon it, you'd think you'd traveled through time. It was just like a treat to see so many people dressed up so impeccably. I used to wear vintage and do my hair, and again, priorities and being a mom that just honestly shifted, and it was hard for a bit, but I'm okay with it now. But we were at Viva Las Vegas, and it was my first time in Vegas, and my husband and I were walking through casinos, and I saw these people that were sitting at the machines, and they were just like tapping or swiping. I'm not really sure what it was, but to look at them, like, they just looked kind of dead. And I was like, well, how? how does anybody get sucked into this? How are they doing this? They're sitting there spending money, they're wasting their life doing this and this and this. And then this last year, I realized I was sitting there looking dead, wasting my life doing this and this and this. And like, enough is enough. I want to live. I want to be with the people that I love. I want I want to get things done that I need to get done. I want to laugh and I want to feel good about the kind of mom and the kind of friend and the kind of daughter and wife that I am. And so I really started to work on eliminating my phone time. So, I had set digital wellness alarms and things. They're so easy to bypass. Um, and I was like, I'm going to start doing something where I very literally cannot use my phone. Like for a while, I did like the diamond dots art kits, which I'd always kind of scoffed at, if we're being like brutally honest here. I thought they were kind of silly, and I did them, and I was like, I'm never putting that on my wall. It's not, oops, it's not my style, really. Obviously, my style is a sewing machine with little kid drawings on it, crazy curtains. But diamond dots just didn't really fit. But I really enjoyed doing them because I felt like I was kind of like in a Zen state because I had to be using my hand and paying attention and looking, and I could not be on my phone. And so I really liked that. And then I realized, I thought about, oh, maybe I should get back to sewing. I haven't sewn since before my son. But to have to pull out a table to cut and iron and stuff, it was so much stuff to do in order to get to the sewing that it really didn't seem accessible. And I was like, well, why don't I finish this knitting project that I had? So I pulled out the knitting. I was like, oh, yes, I forgot that I loved this. It had been a little over 4 years since I had knit anything. So I was back to like looking at videos on how to do some of the increases and decreases and stuff. Um, but I knew it was hard to break a habit like scrolling on my phone unless I put something else in that place. And so I just filled it with knitting. I brought my knitting with me when we went places where I needed to wait, or if I was listening to something pretty boring for a while, or watching TV at night with my husband. I started knitting. And you know what? I probably started knitting a little too much. There were multiple nights where I have stayed up till 1 or 2 a.m. trying to finish a project because I kind of get lost in it. But you know what? I am not on my phone, and I am calling that a win. I think it is important to live our lives, to be with the people that we love. And when I say be, I mean fully be there, be present. I can listen while I knit. I don't get as lost as I do, or as dead looking as I would if I were on my phone. I just don't think my phone really fits. So, you know, stick around. Please join me in trading screen time for intentional making. I realized I forgot to say what I'm wearing today. This is my Cinnabar sweater. It was designed by Maven Crafted. I knit it up in Knit Picks Wool of the Andes tweed. It's a worsted weight. It was a delightful knit. Kind of like how stripes are so addicting. I found this very easy and very fast to knit. I really like the I-cord finishes on the cuffs. It's regular neck here. But I love the I-cord on the sleeves. I kind of get why sleeves are typically cuffed because I do catch on things a lot more than I expected when I wear it. But I wear this very frequently. It is comfy sweater. I look a little like a pinata when I wear it, I think. And it's just pretty cute. It's pretty fun. So I knit it in a size 6. Like I said, I went pretty fast once I figured out that the cast on number in the pattern for the size 6 is wrong. So if you are going to knit it, go check out my Ravelry page where I list the correct cast on. So I have some things to show you. First up, I finished my Olga sweater. So here she is. I am a fan. I knit it with the Hanaway knit along. I just think it looks really pretty. And I didn't, to be honest, I did not expect to like it this much. I knit it in Drops Charisma, which is a super wash. I have a ball of it here. Give me one second. I can feel it in my like bin of yarn. Oh, the label fell off. Um, Drops Charisma. It's a superwash yarn, very, very affordable. And it felt really kind of dry while I was knitting it up. I wasn't loving it, and I thought, oh man, am I kind of wasting my time knitting this up? Am I even going to like it? But once I gave it its bath, I must say it did grow in length and a bit in width. It really relaxed. It's bigger than I expected, but I still enjoy the fit. Um, but it does feel better than it did when I was knitting it. So would I knit with Drops Charisma again? I'm gonna say it's not my top choice because I didn't like the feel while I was knitting. I found myself putting on like I slather uh, lanolin on my hands and lotion. I found myself putting that on my hands a little more often when I was knitting with it. But I do like the way it turned out. And you know what? I can throw it in the washer, and that is a pretty big perk. So that's my Olga. And then I got something really exciting in the mail yesterday that I am just thrilled about. Look at this from Hip Knit Shop. I got a box of beautiful Pop Merino yarn. I am doing the Cat and Lenny Sammy sweater and shawl test knit. And look at this. I think it is just gorgeous. I got the Pop Merino in the salted caramel color. And I am so excited about it. The sweater has a really beautiful detail with, how cute is this? With a crocheted kind of scallop lace edge that I'm doing in a chocolate brown cascade. So um, I was super excited to get that because I'd been waiting. Hip Knit Shop is based in Norway. And so when I ordered, and when they went to fulfill the order, they sent me a really kind email. They said, "Oh, we are so sorry because of tariffs and changes. You'll need to pay this additional amount." And I paid it, and they sent it to me right away. So it came pretty quickly. So I got that yesterday, and I immediately did a gauge swatch because this is a year where I knit things properly and I take my time. So I knit one up here that was tight and I could tell, and so I knit a second one, and it was perfectly on gauge. I blocked it last night and was happy to measure it today. So I cast on, and I had like a mom get together tonight where we sat by a fireplace and chit chatted and worked on crafts and things. And so I've got my collar just about set and ready to turn down. So I'm really excited to work on this project, and the yarn feels beautiful. It would be really great if I did not like fancy yarn. If I could knit out of straw and like the feel, like that would be great, but I don't. So luckily, I have gotten some really good deals on Marketplace lately. So I'm going to show you some more yarn that I got. This is going to be my main work in progress because the yarn took a little while to get to me. So I want to really hurry up and get this sweater done. I'm also still working on my poet scarf and another little triangle stockinette bandana by Brook Willow. But I really hit it big on Marketplace and I got some great deals. I got 6 skeins of this Barocco Ultra Alpaca in the couscous color. And I am excited about that. This winter between, well, I guess just like the last 2 weeks before Christmas, I knit my mom a Sophie hood and she wanted it in like a winter white and I knit it with Ultra Alpaca. And it's just that squishy, soft garter stitch. And then I knit myself one in their pea soup colorway, which is probably honestly my favorite yarn right now is the pea soup color Ultra Alpaca, which is nice because it is not that expensive as far as yarns that feel good go. Um, but I got these 6 skeins for $40, which felt like a steal because this is an old price on here. But they're $16 a skein now. And so to get 6 skeins for 40 felt like a no-brainer. I had to pick that up. Along with that, I actually asked, do you have any other yarn that you're getting rid of? Which I have learned is a really good question. When you like somebody's vibe on Facebook Marketplace, you just say, oh, are you like getting rid of anything else? Because it is easier to sell to one person than to multiple. And so she sent me pictures of her other stuff and I got some great things. I really just liked this color. It is Spirited Fibers and it is a sock yarn. So it is merino and nylon. And it's just kind of different colors of green. I would really like to make some successful socks. That's kind of one of my loose plans for the year. I'd love to get Summer Lee's sock project book and work through it in order. I just had such success with the building blocks program book, what have you, that I would like to do that for socks. Because as I said before, my Ooey Gooey sock, while looking great, would fit Goliath. So I need a little remedial help there. I got a bunch. So I got this thing of sock yarn, a bunch of pink wool. This is Patton's classic wool. Again, older skein, but a whole bunch of them. Definitely enough to um, work into a striped sweater or to be the base color of a sweater or contrast for multiple colorwork sweaters. I got, I think these are really pretty and will be nice paired together. This fingering weight wool, an old yarn brand called Nature Spun, and then some Twinkle hand knits. They're out of business now as well, but mohair. I think they will look really pretty together, knit up as a shawl. Not everybody wears shawls. I totally love shawls. I wear the ones that I have made quite a bit, actually. Feels nice to have a little extra layer around your shoulders, I think. Got a bunch of this Ella Rae Silky Ants. I don't know if you can see it. It is a pretty chocolate brown with a little bit of sheen, and it is something that's getting me really excited for summer knits, actually. It is 41% cotton, 39% modal, 12% silk, and 8% rayon. I've knit with cotton before, just plain cotton yarn, and I know a lot of people don't love it or feel it's really hard on their hands. I did not have those issues with cotton. I didn't mind it too much. Um, and I've not thought too much about summer knits beyond a Tolsta top or Tolsta tee that I want to knit up. But I'm really, really excited to use this. And I'm thinking I might do the Winnie top. Um, I've got enough, and I think that that would be really pretty for summer. So I hit it big on Facebook Marketplace this week. So every once in a while something good comes along and you got to take it while you can. But yeah, thank you for sticking with me to just kind of talk through my knitting journey, what I've finished, what I'm working on, what I've got in the queue, and just different ways that I'm trading that dead scroll that really does nothing for me, and trading that for intentional making. So please join me, put your phones down, and make something. Bye.